Hello dog lovers, welcome back to Brivy Hill Kennel, Utawala. My name is Juma Ogada Hilary, proprietor for Brivy Hill Kennel. It has been a year since we are here with Dog TV. It has been a good year, it has been a long time now. Welcome back, we've grown in leaps and bounds, and this is Dog TV, the best documentary channel for dog lovers. It has been a while since you were here, we've grown quite a bit. The last time you were here was, I think, about 1.5 years ago. And we had about 6-7 dogs then. Now we have 14 dogs, yes. We are still doing Caucasian Shepherds. And though the variety has increased steeply, we've got more females now, more males, and you'll get to meet a puppy that you met at that time. He's all grown now. I said last time that we'd keep one as testament of our breedings, and it is lovely to meet you guys again and to have you here, most definitely. We presently have 4 males and 2 puppies around 4 months, and the rest are females. The females range between 6 years all the way up to the 4-month-old puppy that we have available for you. And we've also got a female that delivered recently. Her puppies are 3 weeks old, just about to be weaned, and definitely. The journey has been interesting, very exciting, as always with dogs. We've met so much, so many different challenges, so many leaps and bounds, of course, and it has been lovely so far. We've had a huge number of litters, not so many, of course. We must regulate not to put so many puppies as puppy mills do, and the journey has been fantastic. Getting to meet different puppies from different females and different pairings with different males has been exciting. There is a female that we met that was on her first litter. She's now headed towards her 3rd litter after the duration, and it has been nice. It is just now that we were serving her and breeding her to a lovely import male that we brought here. You met the male last time, Basman Bay, from of course our import from Russia, among other dogs that you've met before, and it has been exciting, most definitely. Nothing too surprising, because of even at the time we met previously, we had already met some challenges. So the growth from that point is what we have most definitely carried on to these endeavors of today. And it has been nice. These days it is more of a repetitive occurrence to get the litters. But of course we refine here and there wherever we can, in our weaning process, in our acquisition of supplies, in the feeding of the adults, using the various dry feed, using various sources of protein and carbs for the dogs, most definitely. We've had our kennels expand. We've built some few more kennels, and the last time we mentioned that we didn't have a maternity section, so we now have some 2 rooms for maternity that we usually maneuver with, using maybe a portable whelping box and portable maybe crates for the puppies, and to make it comfortable for the dogs, most definitely. Have heating there for the very young puppies, and most definitely improvements must be there. And we've met so many of you people since the last time, and it has been nice meeting the guys. We've had our dogs posted out there, so at least that with the experiences that we've had, the dogs being out there and more dogs reaching you people out there, is lovely to get you on board with the Caucasian as a breed, and it has been lovely. You must notice that I've stuck to Caucasian Shepherds. It is a wonderful breed, and it is the same breed that we had then, and we'll carry on with it, not giving credit to other breeds, of course, but vouching for this breed that I really fancy and like, because most definitely they give you both sides of the spectrum. You have when it comes to size, most definitely you get huge sizes. With the different males, of course, you get a whole range, all the way up to 80 kg males, 90 kg males. Huge dogs, coupled with the height and the balance information. Of course, we have different size females. They just like human beings come in different shapes and sizes. Of course, we have different coat colors, different heights in females and males, broader chests, longer frame. And it has been nice meeting so many of them. You'll notice that now we have a black female, but of course with Caucasians we usually don't have a single color Caucasian. It is usually a double coat with different colorings, with the top coat usually being different from the one on the inside. And it is different, and it is lovely, of course, as always. During our duration of breeding, of course, a breeder is one who gets to retain from their own stock and gets to use their own stock to produce even better. So we've had dogs that we've kept from our own breedings, from the imported stock that we got. We've had females from Romania, males from Romania that have left us now, not due to death but due to rehoming. We've had males and females from Russia. We've had a female from Bulgaria, and we always work on our acquisitions, always scouting for the traits that we want. Of course, with the Caucasian breed, there is the difference information, like with the height. These are with the height, with the coat length, with the coat type, with the coat color, which is usually not too important, but goes with your liking, of course. A more stocky head, a shorter muzzle, a broader head, bigger chest, bigger bone formation. All these are things that we consider when choosing our own puppies, choosing puppies for you, producing puppies for you, and also when importing. The same criteria that you use to pick a puppy from here is the one we use when picking a puppy from maybe for ourselves also. And we always go through the diligence. We get our puppies from fellow breeders, be it abroad and be it locally. We usually source for the best stock that we can. And when it comes to the traits that we are talking about, we go past the physical, we go into the character of the dogs. And it is interesting because different dogs, as you may know, have different personalities. There are those with a higher drive than others, even with the same breed. Of course, some breeds have a higher drive than others. The giant breeds usually don't have as much drive as maybe the Malinois or the German Shepherds or the personal protection dogs. But then we have the more docile ones. You find that you've got a very sleepy puppy, or you may have a litter that is very active. When it comes to character, there is the issue of aggression and balanced temperament. People get these things mixed up. A dog being confident does not mean the dog is aggressive, most definitely. And what we usually work for is a confident dog, a dog that is balanced, that when you walk your dog outside or go on a drive with your dog, you don't have unforeseen accident or unbalanced temperament per se. What do we call it? Well, incidents happen. You need to know what your dog will do. And for different dogs, mine might maybe be too aggressive to a newer person. I advise that maybe with our breed, they're already quite confident. The only thing usually needed is a bit of socialization, as always with any dog breed. And when you want it to guard, we have trainers for the guard work. And not just to make sure that it is not done to extreme and it is done gradually. A dog also needs to understand what it is being taught. So we need to figure out what the dog needs, what the training needs to be at a certain point, and we make it repetitive. The training doesn't need to be once. Just like the way you socialize, you get them out today, tomorrow, and get them into different situations. Take them to a mall that accepts. Walk them on Sundays, walk them on Mondays when there is traffic, when there is no traffic, so that they learn how to deal with different situations, just like with our own babies. They are our fables, of course, and we must understand that they need our time also. With our puppies, we start with our puppies. At a younger stage, we already allow them to develop naturally. Of course, with the different pairings, the different males and females, the litter itself will come with its own character. You find that some of them are very, very active, others maybe not. The ones that are very active, you get in maybe toys earlier so that they're not destructive on each other, they don't tug on their ears. You find that we don't crop most of our puppies, so that we give you an opportunity. If you want to crop it later, maybe you can do it, but the Kennel Club maybe advises against the cropping. So with the toys, we develop drive, and we tag and give them walks for the confidence as a startup. Get them to interact with the older dogs with age. As they tend towards 8-10 weeks, we get them to interact with the more mature males and females. Then we get them to play with maybe my cousins and my younger sister and her friends, so that at least they get used to that, and you have an easier time interacting with your new puppy. The bit that we haven't expounded on is socialization. Basically is what we insist on. That is step one. We must get our dogs to be confident and to be understanding of their environment, so that not everything is a threat and they are not scared of anything. Then we get into the aggression training. We have trainers that we involve to get them to boost their drive higher, get them into sleeve work training and bite work training, that is. And most definitely nothing out of the ordinary. Whatever we do, in most cases, most dog lovers are conversant with. And provided our dog is confident, we love that. Exercise, we've got a compound here. Apart from the kennels that are a bit of comfortable size to them, we have a compound and we let them guard overnight most of the time. We have a number of dogs, so what we do is give them shifts. You find that some guard for 4 hours, then we release the next. Then we have others maybe during the day that are younger, so that as part of the socialization, they walk around the compound, get to know the yard. We also do have walks. We go on walks in the evening whenever we don't want too much interaction, or walks during the day when we need the interaction. Utawala can get very hot, and we've got the asphalt outside, so it isn't very nice to walk them in the glaring sun. Of course, you understand that they've got a big coat, and this cool weather is better for them. And we walk them go on runs, we exercise also a bit. So it is nice to go jogging with your dog. They get fit, they get hungry, they eat well, and therefore are healthier, just as we need to be healthier. A daily routine, when we get up in the morning, of course, the ones that were guarding overnight, maybe the 2 or 3 that were guarding overnight as part of their exercise and also guard work training, we get them into their kennels, clean. First, we do the general sweeping and maybe use detergent or disinfectant in the kennels for the cleanliness. And then we clean through the kennels, all of them. They feed because during the previous night they feed maybe for 2 hours. Then we get the bowls out, so we don't need too much cleaning or food spillages in the kennels. So we have the general sweeping, and they don't usually soil their kennel so much. So we just do mild cleaning during our morning sessions. Then when it comes to the afternoon, we prep food for them. We have rice. We prepare rice and minced meat, or minced chicken, or chicken heads for them, so that does not take too long. Now with the routine, before we get into the feeding, we do our general routine. So that is the cleanliness of the kennels. We disinfect, use detergent, and every 2 weeks, as we wash the dogs, as we use the shampoo and rinse them with general insecticides and pesticides, we usually also spray our kennels for tick and fleas control, generally for cleanliness and having the atmosphere this nice for us even to be able to sit here and enjoy and even be able to record in this environment. Well, we can get into the feeding bit, because we are talking about our feeding routine. We've got in our freezers, we have the chicken head stored, we have minced meat, we have bone dust also stored. Bone dust is in the nature of minced meat, but a bit different because of the minced bone. What else have we got in the freezers? We've got whole beef, cuts. Those are our sources of proteins. We also use eggs. We use raw eggs as our source of multivits and extra protein. We usually recycle the eggshells by drying them and blending them to powder to produce and provide for us extra calcium. We add it to our general meals for them. Our source of carbohydrates is rice. We use rice and almost nothing else. Maybe wheat bran once in a while, but mostly rice. We use human grade rice or broken rice. Either is fine, provided it is nice and clean. Other feedings, we get into the dry food. With the dry food, we insist on super premium. It might be more expensive, but most definitely more worth it. Well, budget is a factor to consider, but we use the dry food. The dry food has categories for growing puppies, for puppies of different ages, to adults, to junior adults, and those are all things you need to consider. We also do multivitamins, multivitamin tablets. When it comes to a general feeding, from the time we begin with puppies all the way to adulthood, we begin with weaning our puppies on mostly beef. Human grade beef with supplemented multivitamins and rice after a certain while. We use weaning dry food. Of course, there are different categories for the dry food. So we use super premium weaning for the female that has delivered and the puppies that are being weaned. After that, after about 8 weeks, we move on to intermediate feed for greatly quickly developing puppies. Of course, these are giant breeds, so you have giant kibble, extra protein, extra supplements for their bone development, because it is quite rapid. We usually tell our clients that a puppy might be of a certain age, but then they tend to refute because ours are weaned properly and develop as they should, most definitely. Some call it whatever you see on YouTube is whatever you get kwa ground. So that is most definitely what we vouch for. Then we move on to junior feed as they tend towards 6 months. Then on to adult. To add on to that, maybe we use the eggs sparingly when they're beginning to wean and as they move forward. For our puppies, we feed 3 to 4 times in a day and reduce gradually as their needs increase. We increase portions and reduce frequency so that it is also easier for you to get your puppy at around 10 weeks, 3 months, or maybe, what do I say, at around 12 weeks you can get your puppy. Wean don't just about everything. For adults, they feed once. The pregnant ones usually have their 2 meals, but in regulated portion, because most definitely with the pregnant females, you need to be careful. Don't get the puppies growing too big inside the female. She might have difficulty. They are usually, even on Google, as you when you search, there are usually regulations for how much more food you should give your pregnant, they call it bitch, your pregnant female. So you shouldn't increase it too steeply. The puppies will grow too big, and you might find that maybe your female is carrying maybe 10 puppies. It is already a huge task on the female. Don't get them too huge in the female. She might not survive it. She might have a very immense difficulty in delivering. So there is usually a sweet spot for that. There are usually males and females that get sick once in a while. Maybe you get a tick fever outbreak, or you get maybe general food poisoning at some point. You might source for food, it goes bad, or it doesn't agree with a certain dog. So we know how to regulate that. We get our sources correct and try to minimize on incidences of maybe toxicity or general poisoning, even mild. With the dogs. The dogs that are recovering get their multivits, get their supplements. Not very intense metabolic enhancers, but sometimes you need to get them up and running quickly. Whenever your dog gets a bit sick, just make sure that they are taking their water. That is what actually makes us lose them quicker. They must hydrate. All through the day, they get our kennels have loops for their bowls for water. As I've told you before, utawala can get hot. So yeah, most definitely they keep hydrated. The way we've set up the kennels, it is cooler here than on the outside. The shades are at a certain height, so it gets them really nice and cool. And plus, when we are saying Utawala gets hot, we don't mean the Sahara. We have it at moderate temperature. I don't know, I think the food is okay. We use shampoo for cleaning, and general disinfecting is very, very important. We have kennel specific disinfectants and we have general purpose disinfectants. It is important, very, very important, because they feed inside, so the food, and sometimes they pee on the inside, and sometimes they even poop, and that is why our kennels are also of a certain size to accommodate for that, and that is important. Our kennels also are of good size for the pee to be able to drain by itself, and also for if it rains, we have water draining very clearly. We have a septic for the dog poop and the pee. We have a soak pit for the rainwater. What else? Yes, generally, your dogs must be clean, guys. Most definitely. Now, in the spirit of keeping our furballs happy, we have our general vet visits, occasional. We have our general control. As you can see, sometimes the multivitamins and supplements are not necessary. But for the joints to be healthy and for us to have our dogs for a longer time, we need to get them in top condition. There are some supplements that are human grade but are usable by the dogs. So you have to consult your vet. Another factor that we incorporate is our annual vaccines. All our adults get their annual vaccines. For rabies, most definitely, we even have the government doing it for us, but we prefer our vet doing ours. For rabies and DHLP, that is distemper. So that even as they age and even as we have our females, our older females and some male getting to 7-8 years, they are still as happy as they were when they were younger. So we try and curb that. Deworming for the adult dogs, we do every 2 to 3 months. Regularly, make it regular. Also change up your manufacturers when you're using the dewormers. For the puppies, we begin once they are born. After 2 weeks, we deworm together with their mom. Then we do for the puppies every 2 weeks all the way to 3 months. Then we move it to 3, then to 1 month, all the way to 6 months. Then after that, they can move on to every month, every month, all the way to a year. Then after a year old, well, you can do 2 to 3 months. If you have a dog that is 80 kgs on the scale, use 8 tablets if each covers 10 kgs. Don't underdose, of course it won't work. But you need to be careful even with the food that you feed. Of course, with raw feeds, you must deworm more frequently. You must be careful with your sources. With cooked feed, safer. But still, deworming is critical. What I didn't mention, we also do omena. I think it is called silverfisher. We also do that. It is really good concentrated protein. You need to deworm more frequently when you use that. And yeah, most def. With the general cleanliness, we have our dogs also shedding. When you're getting a Caucasian, you understand they have a double coat, and they usually shed, usually twice a year. Mild and heavy shading. As maybe my grooming guy showed you, we have one that is very actively shading presently. They usually shed around the same season, so the intense grooming is usually at a certain point during the year. What we do is get them washed every 2 weeks. So when the shading is intense, after you do the cleaning, you use a blower to dry their coat and have the detangling combs and general grooming combs to get the fur out. And yeah, it is not very intense, as in they won't have coat, but it is just shading of renewing of the coat. Yes. During the years that we haven't met and leading to this time, we've grown as a kennel, and most definitely we've had our challenges. It has been interesting, of course, meeting some different ones. We start by feeding challenges. Of course, the cost of living has gone higher. The prices of everything have gone up. So that is a bit of a financial challenge, but we are up to the task. Sourcing of the food, sometimes one misses and you have to opt for the other. That is why we mentioned different sources of protein, different variants, and in different portions, so that when one misses, you are able to access the other. With the disinfectant, we learned the hard way. You must do it. You must get the kennels disinfected to curb with the flies and also for general health of the dogs. Other things, tick fever. Tick fever was an issue because we live in an open estate. So sometimes when when the guys outside get their cows to graze outside the gates, you find that there is tick infestation in the area. So that was a bit of a problem, but of course we dealt with it. We had cases of pseudo pregnancies with our females. That was also interesting to get to understand whatever exactly goes on. It is not perfectly explained by the vets, but well, even the ones that got pseudo, maybe in the following times they were able to conceive and have normal litters. Of course, with our litters, we have the various mortalities. You find that maybe in a litter, you have a litter of 12, 14, 15 puppies delivered, but only maybe 7 alive. That is usually sad. It is never nice to bury even a delivered puppy. With the females, I've got one that is ill. The female had a birth difficulty. So she had a placenta remain inside while she was delivering. And we didn't notice it. She got very ill and we almost lost her. We eventually even lost that entire litter, but she had an issue with her milk, and of course, due to that infection from that placenta that was not pushed out, she developed issues later. She's been later able to deliver naturally and have live puppies and nice puppies, but she's become very hypoallergenic after that and very, very sensitive to maybe ticks and fleas. As it stands presently, she's hurt herself. She's a bit aggressive, so she's hit herself on the rail. We need to get that checked, but she recovers and gets herself hurt again, but she's a lovely female. That is also another challenge. When it comes to aspects like mange and tick fever, all we've got to do is maybe use the spot on and clean frequently. Use the tick control and flea control very frequently. Maybe every 2 weeks is usually sufficient. Higher cost in building, actually. When we were constructing the kennels, it was a bit dear. But these are all things that are expected and things that should not surprise you. Nothing comes cheap these days. And the investment is very worth it. We get our dogs comfortable. You also notice that the kennels are a bit different as we move step by step. The ones that we began with, we haven't yet got them to be much bigger than they are. They are more of holding kennels than anything else. Then we have the 10 by 5 kennels. Those are bigger and they're really nice, but they have a part opened. Then we have the bigger kennels that are about 10 by 10. Those are the ones that we use for maternity. They have electricity connected for the heat lamp and for the light. Then we've got the 6 by 7 kennels, 7 feet. 6 feet by 7 feet kennels. Those are also different, but they are the ones that will replace our holding kennels. Yeah, and then the last time you were here, this place was not cemented, so we checked on the dust and maybe with flea control, you need somewhere where you can clean easily. So we got it cemented and got our septic there. And yeah, so we try. Okay, so when it comes to a breeding program and running a kennel, of course there are dogs that age and there are dogs that you need to phase out at some point. At the beginning they're pets, and once you're done breeding and of course you can't have 100 dogs. Well, you can, but it is not economically sound. So what we do is we rehome. We've got family friends and we've got people who we've sold puppies to before. So what we do is once we have a female retire from breeding, we get her to a home that is desirable to us. At some point we have females that are really, really nice. They've maybe only produced once. A fellow breeder wants the dog, maybe buys it from us. that is okay. That is a joint venture. Of course, we are selling to people we trust. Well, you can always buy dogs of all ages, even the mature dogs, the ones that are 2 years, 3 years old, 4 years old. You can always get them at the right price, of course, and maybe at we call it a compensation because they are pets. So at the right compensation for the dog. Yeah, rehoming is a task because sometimes you don't want to let go. And most times you won't, so we end up having a lot of dogs, but once we get someone that can handle a certain female or male and can use it differently, of course, once we use our male and we have the stock for the male and we have a son of his or a daughter of his in the kennel, we can always get the dog to a different kennel to do the work also. Of course, other kennels have different females with different genetic endowments. So having different breedings and not repeating the same ones over and over is something that is important to the gene pool that we have in the country. And generally, for the sale of the puppies, we have to have unique puppies. We have to have different coat length. We have to have different drive. We have to have different head shapes and different muzzle and whatever. So the differences that we try and create leads us to rehome some and bring in different lineages and keep refreshing. Of course, the dogs that you saw here last time are not the same ones that you've seen here today. Some are the same, yes. We've held on to some because, of course, it has not been a long time. It is not even 2 years. And within 2 years, we maybe usually have only 2 litters per bitch. So over the period of 12 months, we usually try to ensure that our female breeds once. Over 12 months, our females could have 3 heat cycles. So let us say she has delivered once. The moment she delivers, by the time her puppies will be around 4 months, 4 months to 4.5 months, the female will have again come to heat. We usually prefer to skip that heat to get to continue getting the female into great condition for an even better litter the following time. So we usually skip a heat, that is 4 months. Then the heat, the following heat, the subsequent heat comes after maybe another 4 to 5 months, provided they are fed properly. Red meat gets them there. Fish oils gets the heat to come more frequently. But that is not what we want. We want the situation more natural. Provided the supplements are good, the feeding, the nutrition is all the way up. That is the best way we want. So once we skip the first heat, you see if you add the months, you have the 4, then you have the 5. That is 9 months. Then you will have your breeding. Then the dog will deliver after 63 days. That is another 2 months. So that is 9 months plus 2, that is 11. So if we say maybe every year we have 1 liter per female, and that is also why I told you we get more females, so that you don't exhaust one female. At a point, you need the female to rest, maybe for even over a year or even over 2 years. Because you've got other females. Once you have 5 females, you can maybe have 3 producing this year and another 3 producing next year, so that they get their rest cycles also, and you keep your dogs for a long time. You don't need them exhausted, and we need the quality to be sustainable for a longer time. Yes. So once we scout a dog in a different kennel in Europe, or maybe even Russia. The common countries are Germany, Russia, Romania, Georgia. Russia is huge, so you can go all the way to Novosibirsk and Moscow and Perm. So there are so many places you can get. The first is identify a reliable breeder. Identify usually There are guys who have imported before, and you can go through them to get even to different kennels. So first, what we process on this side is an import permit that usually helps the other side process an export permit, and also helps them try generate an export pedigree for your dog. Make sure they are FCI registered, and you can go as much as calling the embassy to confirm with the kennel club, or through someone over there you can confirm with their own kennel club via email over their reliability and credibility. And once you have the export permit over this side, you process the import, then it is all about payment for the puppy or for the adult dog. Usually bank transfers are safer and they are more covered. It is quick. Of course, right now it is a bit more expensive because of the euro and the dollar exchange rates being higher. Then you pay for the flight. The good thing is, once they book the flight, the airline will communicate, write you an email, usually even call you for the booking of the flight, so that you're ready to receive your dog at the airport. Then at the airport, we usually have the steps. We have the animal control. We must clear with animal control. Then we also must clear with the KRA, the Revenue Authority. There is usually a taxation attached to these exotic breeds. There is a way to maneuver. That is why you can use agents, and always talk to someone who has done it before. They might know of maybe a cheaper way to do it, or discounts that come with maybe mass clearance. So those are the steps, and then after that, all you got to do is to acclimatize the dog to your kennel, get them onto the food that is here. Of course, dry food cuts across. If it is a brand that they were using on that side, you can ask the breeder on that side to ship the dog together with a bag of dry food that they are used to. Red meat is red meat, chicken is chicken. So that is, it might take a while for the dog to get accustomed to whatever you're feeding on this side and the environment. They might shed a lot when they come. They might not regain their actual coat, but the good thing is they've got that coat genetically. So you usually need to be more anxious of their productions than what they actually are. A stud is as good as their production. A dam is also as good as their production. So it is important that if you are bringing a mature one, get to understand if they've produced before. If you are bringing a puppy, get to understand their line. Maybe they have giant litter mates and they have giant ancestors. Of course, your productions will then move towards the giant side. If they've got a coat that leans on the body, that lies on the body most of the time, you'll most definitely get that. So when you're scouting for your dog, you need to have specific points of interest, and just scout properly, get us involved, tell us if you're bringing some, we might help you, and link you up with some of the breeders, or even do it for you, and we'll all be happy. So now we are meeting the dogs more intimately. This is Roxy. She's a female of 18 months. She's developed quite a bit. She's daughter of Arma, our import from Bulgaria. She's our former breeding, so we keep from our stock. This was a litter of 8, 4 males, 4 females. She's lovely. We are looking forward to breeding her to a different male, and it will be nice, most definitely. Well, this one laying here is Fatma. Fatma is a daughter to Dibo, and by extension a granddaughter of Arma, through Dibo, of course. She's 14 months now. She's still yet to be bred, and she'll be bred maybe in another 4 months. She's a lovely female. Her brothers are huge. They're bigger than Debo now. And yeah, we always look forward to better productions. Now this lady over here is our lady from Romania. She's a huge female, very tall, very thick. We usually have to regulate her weight. She gets huge. People usually think she's a male, a smaller male. She's a bit older. She's now about 5 years. She's a lovely lady. Right here, we've got a piebald female. I think you met her during our last video. She was there. Maybe you can refer to that video. You are introduced to Rosa here. She's our import from Moscow. She's the hypoallergenic female. But we'll get this fixed soon. We already got the vets on hand, and she's a lovely female. She hurts herself hitting her head on this rail. She's a bit aggressive, but you know, the nature of dogs sometimes. We have a meshed kennel here. We've got a very aggressive male at the very end, so that kennel is a bit big, and he's a tough guy. Right over here we've got Isabella. Isabella is a female from of the lines of Romania. She's not Bella, come Bella, hey Bella, come now Isabella is a tough, aggressive female, a bit gentle at times, but I like her so much because of the coat color. She's got a beautiful head type. She's daughter of a famous male. She's daughter of Samosveti Sibiri Pharaon. A huge male, very thick. The male was not so tall. You can attest to also the height of the female. She is black. That is a lovely color. We took her for the set of genetics. She's never had a female as short as she is. Her males are huge. Then this is our boy Neto. Neto is a son of Bassman from an outside female. Neto was born alone. This was a singleton litter. He is a lovely boy. Bassman hasn't had many litters, but yeah, he's a good one. We have hope in him. We are planning to retain him for the breeding later. We've got Arma here. Let us wait. Arma, come. Arma, come. She's a bit defiant, but you'll see her in the other videos. Arma is our wolf grey female. She's a nice female, a credible producer. She's produced well before. She's the mother to Debo. As you may recall from our other video, Debo was the male in our other video that had a cone, the ones that were affected by cherry eye. There is Arma. She's interesting. She has shed coat because she was coming to heat. She's been served presently to Bassman. Bassman is our boy from Russia, our brindle male. So you can see him right beside Arma. He's a tall boy. He's a heavy boy. Doesn't look too heavy, but he's huge. I think he's around somewhere in the 90s. But we try to regulate his weight gain so that he is able to comfortably breed. He is now around 2.5 years. Prime breeding age, while Arma is around 4 years. So on this other side we've got Debo. Hey, boy, Debo, chop. Up, boy. Let's move a bit so that I can. So you see, the big boy is just a big puppy. Debo, come, boy. Hey, Debo, come. So Debo is a giant. He's a male we retained from that litter. He's just a big baby. He's around 2 years and something now, 2 years and a couple of months. He has produced, and he's a very credible producer so far. We've had outside puppies born outside for the stud services we've given. But even here in the kennel, he's produced well. He's a huge boy, big head, big coat, and a lovely personality. Yeah, we hope to have his litter soon also. He's being bred to Rosa. Rosa is the girl from Moscow. Now here we've got, my sister calls this one Munchkin, but her name is Koki. She's a female I returned to my kennel from a previous breeding. I had a male that I kept for a while, then sold. That male was bred to another import, and by consequence, I retained one from that litter, a friend's litter. And she's a lovely girl, great prospect, great parents, very large size. She's now gaining height. She might look a little bit lean, but she's a giant of a girl. She'll be a proper producer someday. If we move all the way to the very end, over here we've got 2 maternity sections. The puppies are laying way over there. There are 3. I think I'll carry one for you to see. They're just turning 3 weeks on Wednesday. They're still quite young, but they're puppies of good descent. As I told you before, we select from a great gene pool, so that the gene pool that we also provide is also great. And it is always a great opportunity to meet puppies. Sometimes we also get, just as people get baby fever, we also get puppy fever. Sometimes we stay for so long without getting puppies. But this was our last litter for last year. And we look forward to you guys getting a part of that. There are 4 males and 2 females. Very lovely. They're a bit sleepy. They're from suckling. They're laying on the floor now, but they usually have a crate. It is just part of the cleaning process. And yeah, those are the dogs. That should be around 12, 13 dogs. We usually have a circulation of dogs here. We have a facility for pet boarding. And it has been lovely meeting you guys again. And consult us for your dog services that you want. We've got guys that we can hook you up with for grooming, pet grooming. And all these services around food supply, pet food supply, consultancy with for the dogs, your breeding services, your puppies that you may want. Reach us, and we'll be really glad to help you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Babu. We look forward to welcoming you back again after a while, so that you might see the difference. The fun of it is in the growth. The fun of it is in having more and more. And at the end of the day, they're our pets. It isn't only about the breeding, and we can stay a year or 2 without breeding. But that is not our primary objective. Our primary objective was to provide pets for you, and have pets for our own also. And we enjoy the company of all these dogs. Though it might be expensive, but it is really worth it. Once again, I'm grateful for your visit. It has been lovely being with you again. It has been so nice meeting you again, you meeting my dogs again, and meeting even new dogs. It has been a lovely process producing puppies for you, and having the different breeds. I'll continue doing Caucasian Shepherds. Maybe I'll get into another breed. But we've got puppies presently. We usually have puppies. If it is not by the stud services that we offer, it is usually by our own females here in kennel. Of course, we have a number of females, so usually we'd have a litter at some point in the year. Sometimes we have more puppies than some other times, but get in contact with us. We have the best pet for you. It is usually lovely. Come meet us. We are in Utawala, Nairobi. This is Juma here. You can reach me on 07 97 64 66 14 or 0790 60 27 70. Those are my personal contacts, and you can always reach me. We've got a Facebook page, Brivey Hill Kennel. We've got our personal pages that we post. We can always you can always reach us for us to share the links, and continue watching Dog TV. This is the best dog channel for each and every person out there. They're reaching all of us breeders, and they're doing a great job. It isn't a marketing platform, but it is an outreach platform for us to understand our dogs and for us to enjoy the pets that we have. And this is the best documentary channel for all dog lovers. Thank you so much, and welcome back some other time.